I never get sick of the face tracking on the Osmo Pocket. It is so good. Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Vic. Welcome to my YouTube channel. For the last couple of weeks, actually since the DJI Osmo Pocket has come out, I have been using it for 99.9% of my vlog content. And this is a video kind of letting you know how good or bad it is at doing different things and my overall impression as a vlogger, because obviously this is a camera that is geared at vloggers potentially. Can it work as a vlogging camera? Stick around and we will get into all of that. For the last 2 years, I've been using the Sony RX100 V as my go-to camera for all of my vlog content, whether that's unboxings, whether that's out and about, whether that's some travel, whether it's just a talking head video. That has been the camera for me. An amazing camera. It's an amazing sensor, takes amazing pictures, amazing video quality out of the RX100 V, except its 4K is limited to a 5-minute clip, which you might think is manageable. It's not realistically. There's no stabilization on that 4K on the Sony RX100, and the fact that the battery drains quicker than, you know, something hilarious insert here, leaves a lot to be desired. It's an amazing camera, but a very frustrating camera. So for me, when I saw the Osmo Pocket was coming out, I'm like, okay, it does 4K 60. I'm a huge fan of 4K 60, which I would use quite a bit on the GoPro Hero 7 Black. And I'm like, okay, it's got like an hour and a half battery life, 2 hours battery life, depending on what you're doing. That's fine because I'm getting like minutes out of the Sony RX100 V. So got the Osmo Pocket, and first impressions are I am genuinely blown away with it. The fact that I can happily shoot 4K without a timer going off and a temperature icon exploding onto the screen, and I'm not restricted anymore to 5 minutes, that's me quite happy, and all for something that was nearly about a quarter of the price I paid for the RX100 V. 4K 60, so okay, you're not going to get that buttery smooth 120 frames per Peter McKinnon, but you can still get decent slow-mo out of 60 frames per second 4K. Slow down to 50% in Premiere or Final Cut or whatever you use, or Vegas or whatever you use to edit, and it works really, really well. From a vlogging perspective, the Osmo Pocket has kind of made me think a little bit more about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, because if you have a normal vlogging camera, you know, you're holding it up. Let's pretend this is a vlogging camera. You're holding it up and you're kind of flicking it around back and forth. While you can do that with the Osmo Pocket, it's always trying to stay center. If you've got face tracking on, it's going to stay on your face. You can turn that off, but it's still not as dynamic to use as you might be used to if you're a vlogger. However, with the learning curve that's with it, and it's not that steep, it does make you rethink how you do stuff. You might have to prepare a little bit more. And there's been a couple of times where I've done 1 or 2 takes when family vlog or something like that. I'm like, oh, let's do that again because I didn't turn it around fast enough or whatever. But the more you use it, the better it gets. So that's kind of the one caveat. That's the one issue that I would have with the Osmo Pocket. It's not as dynamic and as free-flowing as you might be used to if you're just holding a normal kind of a mini compact or a DSLR. That's really a small gripe. That's me kind of going, well, I was used to this way for years and now I'm doing this. It's a small price to pay, let me tell you, with the quality that comes out of this camera. So I'm using it for everything. I've done some low light stuff with it. I've taken it onto the side of mountains, on cliffs. I've taken it everywhere. And the fact that it is so small and it literally does fit into this pouch, you can just stick it into your pocket and go. You don't have to be lugging around a big camera. I use a GH5 on a regular basis. It's a great camera. It's a big camera when you're getting it rigged up and dragging everything that you need. But with this, the Osmo Pocket, it is literally just drop it into your pocket. We've all heard of, you know, oh, it's a pocket camera. When realistically, lots of things aren't pocket cameras. They're advertised just because it's small. This does fit into your pocket, which is amazing. As for the quality of the Osmo Pocket, look, you can see what I'm shooting this on. This is in, I've got a ring light here. I've got a kind of a small backlight there. It's a dimly lit room. But that aside, in a well-lit condition, maybe like this, or when you're in natural light and daylight, the quality of this thing is insane. But as I said, I've taken this everywhere, including nighttime stuff. And once it's in a cityscape, it works really acceptably. I won't say it's amazing, but it's acceptable. The one problem that you could kind of really throw at the Osmo is the mics. So there's 2 mics. There's one on kind of the camera's facing you, so underneath the screen, and then there's one on the bottom of the actual base itself, which is a bit null and void if you got it resting down or you're going to put it into a stand or something like that. But I know there's an accessory coming out that you can plug an external mic in, so that's half of the battle. However, the audio, once you're relatively close up to the camera, is pretty good. So this is me talking probably 2 feet away from the camera. And now I'm back to the normal audio because I've got a mic just there. In a vlogging scenario, it works really well. I'm out and about. I've never used an external mic with this because I don't have the accessory. I don't think you can buy it yet, but it's just kind of when it's out to your face like that, it works really well. The only thing is the position of the mics. If you are bringing somebody else into the scene, that if they're in front of you, you're going to have to flip the whole camera around as opposed to the like triple tapping and just turning the camera. Again, you're forced to think a little bit more because the mic is in one position only. It's not on the other side. So you got to keep that in the back of your mind. And overall, I am genuinely thrilled with the Osmo Pocket. Really, the quality out of this thing is insane. It really is good. If you've subscribed to the channel, you can see some of the stuff that I've done. And let me tell you, you might say, okay, it's a video camera. It's a good video camera. For the price you pay, I don't think there's anything better than this out there right now. GoPro Hero 7 Black is a little bit pricier, but the one thing, I suppose, the difference between the two is we're looking at an actual 3-axis gimbal in the Osmo Pocket versus electronic image stabilization on the GoPro Hero 7 Black. The picture quality of the both is really good. Stabilization on both cameras is really good. I do think the GoPro Hero 7 Black in the right optimal lighting conditions has the edge. The hyper smooth really is smooth. The Osmo, you still got to put a little bit more work into how you actually walk. And of course, with any stabilizer, you do need to put as many pivots in your movement as possible and as much shock absorption as it were. That's a mouthful. So, you know, you do kind of have to walk a little bit like an ape, and you may have to use warp stabilizer, and probably using warp stabilizer in something like Premiere or some software stabilization is always going to be a possibility. In some scenarios, I can see where the GoPro Hero 7 Black would work, and for me, I am going to use both cameras when I'm out and about from a travel perspective, because I do think the hyper smooth in the daylight situation is better than the Osmo. That said, if you want to do some nice motion lapses, you can get it exactly picture perfect as well with the Osmo. It's genuinely, I'm kind of blown away. When I first got the Osmo, I was like, okay, it's cool. But kind of going back to what I was saying, where there's a bit of a different learning curve and you have to kind of forget some of the stuff that you might be used to and kind of start again. But once you start getting to grips with it over a couple of days, it really does come into its own. I've been recording this video for 14 minutes now. That would have meant on the last camera I was using 3 batteries, and I would have had to stop after 5 minutes, leave the camera cool down, and go again and rinse and repeat. So the fact that I'm able to do this at 4K for nearly 15 minutes is a win for me alone. And the Osmo is genuinely something that anybody can pick up. I haven't really looked at any of the accessories yet. I do have it mounted on a phone accessory, so it sticks onto the side of the phone. I'll give you guys a look at the picture there. That is something that's needed. There's a couple of design faults in it. Obviously, the no external mic thing is a biggie, but the mic, if it's just kind of face-to-face vlogging, it's good enough. The USB-C port is on the bottom, which I would have much preferred to put that somewhere else and then put a 1/4-inch thread so you could actually mount it directly onto a tripod, even though I know DJI are bringing out an adapter and there's loads of adapters out there and AliExpress and stuff. In fact, that's where I got this one. But overall, you know, this is an incredible camera. I genuinely am blown away by the whole thing. It does come into its own on the phone, so once you do plug it into your phone, whether it's an iOS device or an Android device, even though it seems to work a little bit better from what I've read on the iPhone, you know, you can get the pro features as it were, so you can change your frame rates a little bit more, you can just do more. So to wrap up, things that need to come and will come, I would think, are a Cine Like D or some kind of flat color profile. There's not a lot of room to do anything with the out of camera stuff right now from the Osmo. There is no color profile. You take it as is. This is something that was in pre-production models. You might have seen some YouTube videos that were shot in Cine Like D. They look great. So they're a flat, and then you're able to grade it quite well. So that is something that's going to come in firmware. And the only other thing that I've struggled with hugely is the codec itself. So it's 100 megabits per second. It's an AVC codec. I'm presuming it's similar to what's in the Mavic, and I can edit the Mavic footage, not a problem. However, the Osmo codec is a little bit heavy, and I'm editing all kinds of footage in the computer here, and from 100 megabits up to, I've tried red footage just for the hell of it, and that works okay, but I've all drone footage that I have, 4K 100 out of the RX100 Mark V, other cameras at GH5. I've edited all the footage, and the Osmo is the only one that gets kind of hunkered down in Premiere. It does drag its ass quite a bit to the fact that I've had to kind of resort to using proxies. There's nothing wrong with using proxies, but when I wasn't using proxies at all in the past, and now the fact that I have to wait another couple of minutes before I can actually start getting in and editing, you know, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but again, it kind of goes back to what I did do to what I'm doing now. So I'm learning to live with it, and it's only a small gripe because the DJI Osmo Pocket is absolutely incredible. For the money, this is best in class. For the money you're paying, you will not get a better camera. Pick this thing up, go make stuff. It doesn't matter if you're a vlogger or just if you want. Hang on, I didn't even tell you guys about the pictures. Hang on, let me throw up a panoramic that I took with this on the west coast of Ireland. Here, look. That was a panoramic. Okay, so it's graded in Lightroom, but that aside, this is a panoramic, a picture perfect panoramic. You can do 3x3, so that's 3, 3, 3. So it's basically 9 images, and you can stitch them together, or you can do the wider panoramic as well at 180. It's like as a photo camera, this thing works too. But overall, this is the best bang for your buck that you're going to find. The Osmo Pocket, I think if you're a content creator of any shape or form, if you just want to capture family memories or just whatever you want to do, if you just want a camera that's small, inconspicuous, then the DJI Osmo Pocket is definitely the camera for you. I love this thing, man. The more I talk about it, the more I'm loving it. It is so good. The fact that I'm up to 18 minutes and I don't have to change a battery or cool the camera down, that's a win for me. Anyway, my name is Vic. Hopefully you found that kind of useful. If you do have any questions about the Osmo Pocket, then drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to help you guys out because I'm a vlogger for the last couple of years, and this is kind of changing up my game in more ways than one, and that's a really, really good thing. So if I can help you guys out in some way, drop me a comment if you want to see any more footage, or maybe I should actually, somebody suggest in the comments before, just to upload some footage so you guys can download it. If there's enough people want to do that, we'll organize that as well. But yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about the camera, just pull the trigger on this thing. Genuinely pull the trigger on this thing. I wish this thing was here 2 years ago in this shape and this size and this quality, because it is absolutely amazing.